This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update. But first, I have some sad news to report. It was confirmed today that Jenny Santana actually tore the Blood Hunter's right pec in the Blood Hunter versus Scorpio match last week at PCW Ultra, which, by the way, the Blood Hunter won, but not without taking some pain for sure. And that match, as well as the whole PCW Ultra card, will be on this channel coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. And the Blood Hunter's tough. I'm sure that's not going to stop him. Very tough guy. Another thing, Brian Knobbs has lost some weight. Ric Flair went to visit him in the hospital. He had gotten really, really huge to the point where he was almost dying from being so fat. And it looks like he's improving. And there's 2 shoot interviews with Knobbs on this channel. One of them is a one-on-one, and one of them is in front of a crowd. One of 2 live shoot interviews I did as I take a sip of coffee here because I'm going out there in the cold after this to run. So let me jump right into the news. There's a ton of news today. I'll get into it. The big news that I'm happy to hear about is Jim Duggan's wife has confirmed that his prostate cancer surgery went well today. He's currently recovering. That was what the screenshot is from. He did go through another emergency surgery October 20th, and this was the second one he had. He had previously battled and overcame kidney cancer back in the 90s when he was with WCW. On SmackDown last Friday from Wichita, Kansas, town where I was recently, and I actually passed by the arena, there was an incident with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch where they were supposed to switch titles because I guess in WWE you can just switch titles with people. And I guess Flair was supposed to pass her title to Lynch, who was supposed to hold up 2 titles, even though she's a heel, which who knows. But instead, Flair threw the one title on the ground. And then when she picked it up, she gave it to Sonya Deville, who was, I guess, being the interviewer. I guess Charlotte was not happy with the creative in the segment, and there's a lot of heat with the wrestlers backstage and Charlotte right now. And apparently there was an issue with her and God, I forget her name now, the big fat one, a couple weeks ago, where they had a little pushing and shoving match in the ring. But yeah, there's a lot of heat. And I guess after this incident with Flair and Becky Lynch, Andrade posted "FU WWE" on Twitter. So it's obvious that Andrade wants his fiance in AEW. Apparently she's got about a year left on her contract and she's making in the millions. And this is kind of funny. WWE is getting like $1 billion for a 5-year deal with Peacock. And apparently for the 3rd quarter, Peacock lost $520 million. So, and I guess in the 2nd quarter, they lost 300,063 in the 2nd quarter. And then they've lost even more this quarter, 520 million. So WWE really scored on that deal with Peacock. Apparently, tickets aren't selling well for the November 29th Raw at the UPS Arena in Long Island, and they are now doing 2-for-1 tickets for that event. WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross, who's now 69, was diagnosed with skin cancer this past week. Sorry to hear that. I've had my own issues with that. It sucks. Apparently, Petey Williams is getting a WWE tryout as a producer and was at SmackDown tonight. Still no word on what's going on with Harry Smith. If anyone knows if he was on Raw or SmackDown or anything yet, let me know. I haven't seen anything. He's been signed since like April. In kind of a funny story, WWE ring announcer Greg Hamilton was released this week after he threatened to use WWE lawyers to sue a rapper, West Side Gun, who had used a soundbite of his in one of his raps or something. There's a whole bunch in the Observer this week about the Dark Side of the Ring steroid episode, which was this week's Dark Side of the Ring episode. I am going to watch that episode, and I will reference this Observer story when I do my review of the steroid trial episode. I got really bored of Dark Side of the Ring on that FMW episode, and maybe I can't even remember if the biker guy from Canada, what the hell was his name? I don't even remember his name, but that one was boring. The FMW one only lasted for like 10 minutes. It was so boring. I will watch the XPW one because we've covered XPW a lot on this channel. And I actually posted an interview with XPW owner Rob Black today, which is nearly 2 hours long. So if you search up XPW, The Hannibal TV, a lot pops up. So I will watch and review both that one and the steroid one because I'm interested in both. I just got a bit turned off by Dark Side of the Ring. They should pick, I hope if it goes for a fourth season, they'll pick more interesting topics. The Alberto Del Rio sexual assault trial that was supposed to happen this week in San Antonio was moved back to December the 13th. Vince McMahon was back in Saudi Arabia on business this week. He went home between the Saudi Arabia show and this business meeting. I'm sure he takes a private jet there, and it's really not a big deal for him to fly back and forth. As far as this whole Ted DiBiase, Mississippi embezzlement welfare fund scandal, where money that was supposed to be given to the poor went to several people that were not poor, including Brett Favre. And I'm sorry, I'm not a big sports fan. I don't know who this guy is. I'm really sorry. But apparently he paid back $600,000 of what he owed. He was given $1.1 million for speeches that he never gave, and he had previously paid back $500,000. Apparently he still owes $228,000 in interest, but as long as he pays all this back, he's not going to be charged with any crimes. So I figure the same thing is going to happen to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. I forget exactly how much he owes, but it's somewhere around 700 and something thousand. I'm pretty sure he's just going to pay it back because his house that he was trying to sell was worth over $1 million about a year or so ago. So I'm sure you can just pay it back and not have to go to jail. His kids owe a lot more, though. I don't know if his kids are going to be able to escape jail time. In the ratings, Raw did a 0.7. There was 7,400 paid in Houston for Raw this week. SmackDown did 0.58. There was 3,400 paid in Wichita. Rampage did a 0.22. There was 5,500 paid. Dynamite did a 0.4, and there was 6,000 paid. The XPW Dark Side of the Ring did a 0.05. Impact did a 0.02. Ring of Honor is shutting down. They informed talent on October 27th that everyone is being released from their contract at the end of this year, but effective immediately, all talent can start working for other promotions, which a lot of them weren't allowed to. Ring of Honor is also trying to sell their videotape library, and they were founded by Rob Feinstein and others around 2002 after ECW and WCW had closed. Was eventually sold. The high point of Ring of Honor was when they sold out Madison Square Garden in 2019. However, New Japan was also involved with that, and Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and all that group were originally thought to be part of that show when tickets went on sale. However, none of those guys ended up being on that show. So that was pretty much the high point of Ring of Honor. And we were there. Hannibal TV was there covering it that night. But it just went like tanked. AEW pretty much killed it. And then there was a bunch of scandals. There was some weird stuff that went on with Taylor Hendricks. AEW pretty much took all the buzz away from Ring of Honor when everyone went to AEW. Then they made this Marty Squirrel guy, Booker, and he had admittedly been having a relationship with a 16-year-old when he was 27, thinking because I guess that's accepted in the UK, he was admitting to it, but at least in Canada, that's kind of looked down on. I don't know about the US, but I would assume that if you're 27 going out with a 16-year-old, it's a little weird. And yeah, you don't want that guy to be your booker of a company owned by Sinclair Broadcasting worth almost $6 million. And Meltzer brings up here the biggest question regarding the library is, will it go to WWE or AEW? Both companies are denying they've been in talks about it at this point. I guess Impact theoretically might want it too, but I don't know how much money Anthem has to throw at it. John Moxley and his wife Renee Paquette sold their home in Henderson, Nevada for $650,000. They bought it in 2015 for $475,000. Man, the real estate in Canada sucks so badly. I saw the pictures of this house, and like you can't get hardly anything here. You can pretty much in my town, Ottawa, Canada, you can get like a townhouse for $450,000 and have to deal with the winter. So I was amazed to see that that their house sold for $650,000. And I'm sorry. Maybe I can take a picture of it. I'm on the site now. Hold on. Sorry. I'll take a screenshot of it and put it up because it's not letting me save the picture. I will crop it so you can't see all the porn sites I have open, because this is why I never show the bottom half of me, because I'm very rarely wearing pants in these interviews. But okay. It's cropped. This is the house. And again, in Canada, something like this would be worth like $1,500,000. But it's only worth $650,000, which I thought was man, I wish I could live in the US, because the housing prices here are ridiculous. All right, back to the news. Impact had its biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory, and only drew 900, including comps. By the way, PCW Ultra sold out with over 1,000. So PCW Ultra is more popular than Impact without even having a TV show. So that's pretty cool. And just to show you how stupid Impact is, like and how meaningless they're. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry, but Tessa Blanchard is still the undefeated Impact champion. Tessa Blanchard, in my opinion, is still the champion. You cannot change my mind on that. She destroyed everybody in that company. But here's what they did. Christian, I guess, had been the champion. He won it from Omega because they were going on a streak of having AEW guys as Impact champion to try and boost it. But as we saw, 0.02 rating. Nobody cares, and Kenny Omega wasn't budging ratings either. But they had, what's this guy's name? Let me just look it up. Josh Alexander beat Christian to become the Impact champion. Keep in mind, Christian just won this title, okay? And then like seconds later, Moose came in and beat Josh Alexander. And people wonder why titles mean nothing and why that company is shit. And for their WrestleMania, even though they're on TV everywhere, their WrestleMania type event, they can only draw 900, including comps. For all the stars that company has. You do title changes so often, your title is worthless. And you let a female become the men's champion and she went undefeated. You should have paid her whatever it took to have someone at least beat her. But I gave up on that company back around 2010. I'm shocked that they're still scraping along, but I guess Anthem just uses them for content. But it's amazing. They are like cockroaches. They remain in business somehow. Jimmy Rave, who was in Impact Wrestling from 2007 to 2009, and he was in Ring of Honor from 2003 to 2007, has lost both of his legs and one of his arms due to strange infection. I'm not that familiar with him, but I'm really sorry to hear that. Johnny Fairplay knew him, and in my interview with Johnny Fairplay this week, which I suggest people watch, I really enjoyed it. He had worked with Jimmy Rave. MLW has been releasing a lot of wrestlers lately. So they're using the excuse they want to cut down the amount of people that they use for TV tapings, I guess budget cuts. I'm sorry, someone can correct me on this, but does MLW actually have a regular TV show that airs on a TV channel every week, or is it just specials? Because I know there was the special on Vice that did a 0.01 rating or something a few weeks ago. But I don't know if they have a regular show. And I'm not hating on it. I like Alex Hammerstone. I like Jacob Fatu. He's a great wrestler, future star. Both of those guys are future stars. Joseph Samael. I'm not really that familiar with what's going on, but there are some people I really like. Those are three wrestlers that I would rate as three of the best in the industry in MLW. So hopefully, I never heard of any of these guys they released. That's why I'm not even going to mention their names. But hopefully they're just trimming the fat off their roster. In UFC news, Nate Diaz has one fight left on his contract that UFC is trying to put together. 45 years old, Fedor Emelianenko won his final fight in Moscow, Russia, defeating Timothy Johnson via knockout at 146 of round one. And Josh Barnett and Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, both wanted that fight, but they ended up giving it to this guy. And even Meltzer writes that it was a disappointing opponent since many people had hoped for Josh Barnett or a bigger name. And for the people that say wrestling's ratings are low because it's quote unquote not real, trust me, the pain is real. But I understand how people can make fun of it with some of this ridiculous stuff going on. But before I rant on that, let me just say what I was started on here. The PFL, for their $1 million fight night, their big show that they've been building to, only did a 0.05 rating. That is less. That's terrible. That's less than any wrestling show, way less than even Impact drew. So as far as television, wrestling still beats MMA. If it's a big fight, MMA will win. But as far as why people think wrestling's fake, there's way too much gymnastics and acrobatics and leg slapping. But there was some incident on NXT, I guess, this week that I should mention. And I only read the tweet from Matt Riddle and I saw the clip of it. Somebody went to do a dive on the NXT Halloween Havoc this week, which, by the way, I think I forgot to mention the rating on. It did do a decent rating, which I may have forgot to write down, but it was like a 0.17, possibly 0.18, but I think 0.17. But they missed catching somebody on a dive. And Matt Riddle goes on Twitter and writes, the people that missed the catch should be beaten with sticks. And it's like, everybody already knows it looks so phony. We're all sick of seeing everyone standing around just waiting for these people to perform their stupid acrobatics and be caught by the people that they're supposedly trying to hurt. And then Matt Riddle writes on Twitter something like, the people that miss the catch should be beaten with sticks. And it's like, there's just no kayfabe in wrestling. And like Riddle's just pointing out how fake it is. Because in reality, shouldn't the people, if that's your real opponent, you wouldn't be trying to catch him. You would not be trying to catch him, would you? I'm just saying. And then Riddle points out to everyone that may not have even seen it, oh, by the way, wrestling's fake. These guys didn't catch the guy that was diving on them. And because of this, they should actually be punished. I don't know. I'll get into some of your questions. How are the ratings for bare knuckle fighting? I don't know. I don't know if it's on TV. If it is, they're abysmal enough that they're not reported. Sorry, I'll drink some more of my coffee. I'm going to go out and run after. By the way, I'm wearing my The Hannibal TV shirt that you can get at our merchandise site in the description, or go to thehannibaltv.com. Good riddance to Ring of Honor. They sucked. And they kept that Delirious guy as booker for practically the whole time. Like, get rid of a stale booker. When no one's watching your product and it loses all momentum, get rid of the booker. I'm sorry. The product sucked. And I really wish Impact would disappear. Frankie thinks they are saving Smith for RR. I don't know what the hell that is. Gabe says that Ring of Honor tickets and merch were overpriced. JJ likes the MLW belt. Speaking of the UK, the Blood Hunter is going to the UK. For anyone that doesn't know, on February the 19th in Gloucestershire for World Pro Wrestling. His first time wrestling in the UK. And for anyone that doesn't know, Jacob Fatu has been added to Christmas Star Wars, December 11th in Irving, Texas, along with Mick Foley, Von Erich Boys, Carlito, and a lot more, including Texas champion, the Blood Hunter, Eric Embry, Blaze, and the Taskmaster himself, Kevin Sullivan. What the hell else is there? Sorry. I've been up a long time today. What do I think about Walter versus Cesaro main eventing the UK tour? I like Walter. I was in Deep South Wrestling when Cesaro had his tryout back in 2006. Who cares about the library? Well, it's got what? Samoa Joe, didn't AJ Styles wrestle a bit in Ring of Honor? It's got the Young Bucks, it's got Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, because I know there was an incident where Kevin Owens backed down from a fight from CM Punk backstage in Ring of Honor, so he must be in there. So there is footage of stars that could be used in like documentaries and stuff. Bryan Danielson was in Ring of Honor. Crazy Clown bringing good vibes. Alan Kesselman says Moxley had a bad realtor. Pulsar Light says Flair never wears pants either. The difference between Flair and I is I don't do the helicopter trick. I, in fact, never heard of it. Is anyone going to PCW Ultra in January? Well, you said right that Stan the Lariat Hansen is going to be there. It's going to be their big anniversary show in February. There we go. You're correct. Stan Hansen is going to be there. I know Kevin Sullivan's going to be there. I know the Blood Hunter is going to be there. There's rumors that Blaze is going to be there because pretty sure that she goes pretty much everywhere with the Blood Hunter now. Somebody just tipped me $9.99. Thank you. Let me find your question. There's no Brad Reagan shoot interview anywhere. Well, someone put me in contact with him. I would love to interview him. By the way, since so many people complained that the Rick Bassman podcast interview with JBL didn't ask the questions that a lot of you guys wanted to hear, I asked Rick, I said, could you talk to JBL and see if he would do an interview with me? And he talked to JBL, and JBL said he was actually a fan of my channel. And he said that in about 5 or 6 weeks, he would be willing to do an interview with me. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. And I would like to do one with David Arquette, actually. I'd like to get him too. There is Blood Hunter merchandise on the Hannibal TV merchandise page. Am I smoking tonight? Well, I haven't ran yet, and I don't smoke before I run. Harvey says the TNA library has Scott Steiner Hall in Nash. Well, the TNA, honestly, Impact does great on YouTube. Impact has all the Hogan stuff, and they've had their YouTube channel since like the beginning of YouTube. They have something like 4 million subscribers. They make a lot of money from YouTube, but it's not necessarily from their current product. It's from all the past stuff. But let me see what the YouTube numbers are right now. For the month of October is not over yet. But let me see this as I chat with you guys. But yeah, Greg Gagne has been talking to me a lot lately. And yeah, the YouTube numbers are looking good for this month for the Hannibal TV. I won't reveal them till the official month is over yet, though. But yeah, maybe I could ask Greg about Brad if they're still in contact, because I think they both live in Minnesota. Gordo says he would like JBL to clothesline these modern midget jobbers. Mike S. looking forward to that. Brian, Billy Corgan's NWA, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have much hope for it. As much as I have nothing against Murdoch personally, it's like, why didn't you put the champion? Nick Aldis was so stale as the champion. His last match that anyone remembers was his match with Cody Rhodes that was like years ago. His last title defense. And then they finally changed the title to Trevor Murdoch, who I like as a person, but it's like he's not a hot wrestler. And it's like, wouldn't you put the title on someone that's actually going to make the company more popular? I don't like Braun Strowman personally, but put the friggin' title on him. That'll elevate your brand. I don't know. Hello to Herb Simmons. He's got a big show this weekend featuring Haku tonight. So Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling tonight. Haku is going to be there. The Rock and Roll Express, Demolition, so many. So we'll end it at that. Go to Herb Simmons' Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling show tonight, as in Saturday night. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm going to hit the road.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full